Hello everyone, it's Kaylee again, and welcome to the second episode of that Oxygen Not Included playthrough that I'm gonna do with you. So, for those of you who watched the first video, and you could remember that we went through a little bit of the basics of the game, as well, we managed to construct latrines and barracks for our dupes, and ensuring that their basic needs are met and make sure that they work harder. We also have a small research station built up, and we managed to pool down all of the water together. So today the plan is we're gonna try to finish pooling down that water. We're gonna expand the base a little bit. We're gonna try to make what we call a great hall, which is an easy way for our dupes to get a morale boost. So it's pretty much just a really fancy dining room. In order to do that, we're gonna be requiring new research. So we're gonna need the decorations. So we're gonna queue the first two and let them go with this. As for the planter box that we construct yesterday, we're also gonna start building or growing, I should say, blossom weeds, seeds, which in turn we'll be able to get better food out of. And same, we're gonna keep expanding our base, and gonna speed it up. It's a little slow if you just let it go on their own. So, in between two sessions, one thing that I done is that I installed a new mod to the game, which will help with seeing which gases are available in the colony. So, using the oxygen overlay that's been modified by that mod, which is called gases overlay. So it gives us a very different color for each gases that's located through the colony. So in light blue we have the oxygen, which is a good level, reach everywhere where the dupes are hanging out. We can see here that we have a little bit of chlorine in light green and hydrogen in pink. And as we go further, we're gonna discover more gases, and hopefully we'll be able to use them. So so one nice thing that we can do is we got a copy setting option, which speed up when we have different items that we want to pretty much do the same thing. So right now, as soon as we're gonna find new seeds, we're gonna be the dupe's gonna plant them in the two other planter box, and they're both located inside the light that's produced by the printing pod, so they'll grow then easily. All we need is a little bit of water, and that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna start making our water reservoir, and we're gonna put a pitcher pump, we call it, and that will allow us to get the water and use it to water our plants, as well as to feed the supercomputer once we got it. So we're just gonna wait for them to finish building it. So as we can see now, we have almost 2,000 kilograms of water available on that pitcher pump. That's due because there's only a slight layer of water, because it doesn't reach far enough. But that's something that'll be easily rectified as we dig around. So we're gonna make our side as well for our water reservoir. And as well a ladder for them to go down to the bottom. So it's just a matter of it's a waiting game at this point. And there goes supper time. So it's time for them to use the bathroom and go eat. So we're gonna speed this up until next morning when they will actually start working. So I'll almost have cracked the third water reservoir, which will completely flood the base, the bottom of the base, and will give us a nice open area for us to go and work with. So we'll increase the priority of this and make sure that happens quickly. One thing that I didn't mention yesterday is that there's a few blocks they're called oxylite. So they slowly degrade, and they generate oxygen as they do so. So throughout the base, there's a few a little bit. Just as I was speaking, this one here just disappeared. So it's an easy way in the beginning of the game for us to get oxygen, so we don't have to worry about it. Worry about finding algae for the oxygen diffuser. So we got Nisbet slowly digging her way to that water reservoir. So let's go and play at medium speed. That's the speed that I usually play on. It's fast enough that you can see things happen, but if something goes horribly wrong, you still got time to catch it. So I'm gonna increase my walking surface. Trying to make sure that I don't go. I got two extra. Try to stay in a structured way. Makes the base look a lot nicer at the end. So we finish the research, so we'll be able to build our grand hall. I think I'm gonna put it right here where the water is, as soon as we're done with the dropping that water down. So our reservoir is slowly getting built. And there we go. So the water drops down, so it won't be an issue. And we'll be having all the space that we want. Well, maybe not all, but most of it anyway. So we're gonna want an extra level on top of this as well. So I forgot I only got one square here, so it drains down pretty slowly. So in order to make things happen, we're just gonna bump up the priority. There. There goes all the water. So we're gonna queue another research, now that we have everything we need for the Grand Hall. Oh, sorry, I'm missing the mess table, which is fairly important if you want a dining room. So Nisbet's gonna work on that, and then we'll be able to build it. So while we're working on the research, we're gonna start planning it. So like everything else, we want a 20 by 4 square. That's my normal level that I build my base on. Because once we put the doors in, it usually falls into the exact dimension we require for rooms like this. We need a maximum size of 64 tiles, as you can see in the second last line, and the room size is actually 64 tiles, so it works perfectly. Give us a nice little square if you want to put decoration, or if we want to put oxygen scrubbers to remove the polluted oxygen and generate regular oxygen. So our dupes have worked enough, so they all have starting to get new skills. So Nisbet, being our researcher, she'll greatly improve if we give her the advanced research skill. So it'll give her a bonus to science as well as the ability to use the supercomputer. The supercomputer, which we haven't built yet, we're gonna need to actually research it, will allow us to unlock all the third tier and higher of research require two different type of research. One that is built in the research station, one that is built on the supercomputer. So once we're done with the town hall here, or the great hall, we'll be working on to building the other computer right here, and then we'll be able to find more fancy and more advanced research. I just realized there's a little bit of water there, so we're gonna be mopping that up. And then again, I'm gonna fast forward through the night, make it to the morning. And there, another dude's got a skill point through the night. So that would be Ashcan, who is really good at the construction and also loves construction. So we're gonna give him that skill point. He'll improve the construction speed of everything that he do anyway. And let's go back to medium speed. Oh. So, Great Hall, we'll start with a door on each side, like we always do, to allow them to go wherever they wish, and not to progress through to move through the base as they want. Still a bit of water everywhere, so we're gonna mop it all out. Same here. And that was another skill point. So Nikolai, who's our digger, same thing. It will also allow him to dig into the hard material, like granite, which is over here. So if I try to dig it, it comes with a little diamond at the end, which shows you that you actually require someone that is better at digging than a regular dupe in order to remove that tile and use those resources. So I'm gonna bring the ladder down, as right now they have to go through the water, and they definitely doesn't like that. They got hypothermia and slows them down and increase their stress level. Stress is not that much of big of a deal at the beginning, but sometimes it can become problematic. So this ladder here won't be useful anymore, so we'll be constructing it, get the materials back, and be able to work on something new. There we go, so we finished our research. So here's the supercomputer, so that's the next one we're gonna be looking for. And there's more water here. And more water again. So he got hypothermia, which reduces all of his skills, and whenever he sneezes, he stops the job that he was doing. so it could possibly change the priority he was working on something, so it's could increase the amount of time we lost. So every time we got a research that's completed, we got a little notification that pops up. But, it tells us what we have access to and which research has been completed. I usually try to keep it clear so that way whenever something pops up, it's easy for us to find. So here's the mess table. So we're gonna plop 4 of them, because there's 4 dupes in our base. Nope, and another printing pod. So 3 cycles ago we printed an extra dupe because I wanted to have 4 to work with in the beginning. And now, since I don't want to be pressed into making more food, I'll use either the water or the sand. We already have lots of water into this base. That's probably the most I've seen in all the games that I've played. So I'll go with 3,000 kilograms of sand. So it just prints by the printing pod and sits right there. So there's the research complete, which gives us the water cooler. The water cooler is actually it's called a recreational item, so it can be used to just for them to hang out beside it and increase their morale and give them a place to have a break. So I'm gonna increase the priority of this because I really want the hall to be constructed. So let's fast forward till the morning, as there's nothing that's gonna happen for the next little while. Won't need this ladder anymore, since we got this one here that's already built, ready to go in the bottom of the tank. So I'm gonna make room for the water, allow us to clean up this area and be able to build onto it. I just realized that I'm not fully centered, so I'm gonna put 4 on each side. Once we got 4 of them, they'll be able to come and grab their food, come here and sit, and have a bonus to their morale. Because if we go in vitals, it tells us how much morale they have, why they have it, as well as their current requirement. So as you can see, they lose morale since we have terrible food to offer them right now. The decor is terrible because there's garbage laying all over the place. We haven't stored anything yet. And they got the bonus you can see for the barrack and the latrine that we built yesterday. So here's the Great Hall. Why do I have it? Oh, because it's not closed here. Let's rectify this. So as soon as this one's gonna be... Oh no, I need a decor item as well. So we're gonna go with hanging pots. So they give yours... every plant gives a decor bonus in a radius of 4. So we're gonna build 3 of them. So it's gonna give a decor bonus throughout the room. So there we go. There's a mess hall because we're missing the decor item. So we're gonna plant a briar seed. It's one of the plants that was hanging out, and we just dug out because it was really just in the way. Here we got access to another floor, and now we got a great hall. So the effects is a morale of +6, so it pretty much tripled the morale that our dupes had in the beginning. So it's really really worth it. And once again, oops, wrong button. It was not really hard to build, and doesn't require any power or anything. Then they're gonna be really happy. So now we have the supercomputer that's also available to us. So we're gonna build it. This one also requires power, so power is connected to it. And while we wait for that to happen, we're gonna be creating, slowly making our way to the better electrical generation. So using coal and wood or lumber. I haven't seen any lumber trees in this map yet, so might not find any. So we might have to rely on coal in order to do so. But there's a lot of it, so there shouldn't be too much of a trouble. So let's fast forward through the night. Also, we have a better battery. That's one thing that I forgot to build earlier. So we're gonna prioritize the destruction of this battery and build a bigger one with a really high priority as well. So now the battery is gonna charge pretty much at the same time, but it's also gonna hold a lot more power, so we won't need to run on the manual generator as often. So as soon as the battery is going to be topped up, this bit's going to go back and start researching again. So there's a little bit of oxalite again. It's emitting oxygen still, but one thing that's important with those is that we don't want to destroy them. Because when you destroy any piece of or any tile, you only get 50% of its mass back. So let's say we break this algae, it says 200 kilos, but we only get 100 kilo algae. So if we do the same thing with the oxalite, you actually only get half of its value, so half of the oxygen from it. So we want to make the most out of every resources that we're given. So we try to be efficient onto everything that we do. I'm gonna display this here as well. So we got our mess hall. This one is... why is it invalid? I'm gonna cancel it and try to build a new one. There. Oh. Oops. So by blocking off this ladder, somehow I got a dupe that's got stuck into the water. So that's why we got the alarm here that says suffocating. Once the oxygen level reaches 0, he will die. So we're gonna try to make him give him back a way to escape. So we're gonna highly prioritize the deconstruction of this tile, so it'll be able to jump on the ladder and get back to safety. There we go. So that was a mistake of mine. Something that happen often, so we gotta keep an eye on your dupes and make sure that you keep them safe, because they definitely won't do that for them. And research is complete. So next thing that I like to go for is the smart battery, which required a refined metal to do so. So we're gonna go with the rock crusher first. That will allow us to give us to build a smart battery, which will automatically act as an on-off switch, so that the coal generators doesn't run constantly, which would generate wasted power, as well as, and in turn, well, wasting all of our coal. So I'm gonna copy settings here, make this area as neat as possible, and we're gonna close this up now that nobody's in the basement. And, oh, and high priority. So I got another, break those here around, try to make at the base nice and tidy. Oh, more water here. So what I'm gonna do in this area here, I'm gonna build say a storeroom, but for the food. There's a mechanic where the food will decay normally as time passes when it's in contact with oxygen. So one way we can deal with that is that we'll fill a room with carbon dioxide, and we will store our food in it. That prevents the food from spoiling. So, oh, we have 2 dupes idle. That's usually not good. So that means that they're not doing anything productive. So we're gonna be there. So I'm gonna deconstruct this one here. I'm gonna build a ladder. That was a saying. So I'm gonna have this room filled with carbon dioxide. It will ensure, since carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, it will layer in the bottom, totally fill the ration box with the carbon dioxide, and will prevent the food from spoiling. So now that we have one, I will deconstruct this one. So there's still a lot of oxygen in this room, but over time it will fill up. So same, got the settings so they can hold all the food, the elements, and the actual prepared meal. Yeah, so this one is deconstruct. So now if we look at our overlay, so you can see there's already a little bit of carbon dioxide on the bottom, but as the dupes go in, they breathe the oxygen, they'll release the carbon dioxide, so it will slowly fill up. And once we got the base in better shape with more automatic function, we'll be able to pump carbon dioxide into it. So I haven't queued enough tasks because they're starting to get idle on me all the time. So I want to make sure I get as much work from them as I can during a day. So I'm gonna queue a few items here. So here we're gonna build a storage container. So it'll be somewhere for the dupes to store all those items that are laying on the floor. So that will greatly increase the decor that we have through our base. I'm also gonna build 2 other planter box in order to build a few more bristle blossom. I couldn't remember the name for some reason. And another research completed. So I'm gonna go with next. I'm gonna go with automation. So it's easy, it's gonna be quick, and that'll be required when I use the smart battery. One thing that I forgot is that everything that I build right now is in priority 9, which is, well, really too fast for what we really needed to. Since we got lots of bottled water everywhere, I'm gonna build a bottle of emptier so that the dupes can pick it up and dump it back into the tank. So I think I'm just gonna stop here for this for today. So we build our little storage room. We build a nice little great hall, and we're in the process of building the one storage area for all the items. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you can learn from it. And if you enjoy, please share the video with your friend, hit the like button, and I hope to see you again tomorrow when we keep going on with the with this space colony. So once again, I'm Kaled. Thanks for your time. Have a good one.